What's up, guys? It's Rob here, and today we need to talk about Sundial Growers, ticker symbol SNDL, and the action that we've been seeing lately, as well as what I think about this stock going forward. So, I know that a lot of viewers of my channel actually became viewers when I was making more SNDL videos, and that's because I am a long-term investor in this stock, and I do believe in it looking forward in the future. Now, as you can see, over the past year, we have had some insane action. I was actually buying my first couple of shares right around here at 19 cents per share. So that was obviously a great price to be getting in at. And, looking back, it may have been nice to sell at these highs. However, I was selling some call options, collecting premiums for the past while. And recently, I've actually just stopped doing that. Now, there is a reason. And that is that this stock, I think, has just depreciated too much. And it's actually at a point where I do not want to be selling dollar call options. I don't think that they quite are valued as they should be. I think that this stock will likely be moving up in a big way in the future. As you've seen in the past, we have had some massive spikes in price, and I think that we are likely due for another one sometime soon. I can't say exactly when, but I do think we'll be having one soon. And the reason is, there are a couple of reasons, right? The first thing is that we are hitting this very key 70-cent support level. If we could probably get a better chart for it. 180 days, you can see that we have bounced off of the support level a couple of times, and it's always led to significant rallies, either bringing us, multiple, at least 10% higher every time, if not, doubling the stock. So I do think that we are likely going to be bouncing off of this. Of course, there's always the potential that we dip below 70 cents, but at a certain point, this stock almost has to bottom out. Probably around 50 cents, I would say, is the absolute lowest I could see it getting, because they do actually, as a company, Sundial has a lot of cash on hand, and that gives the stock kind of an intrinsic value, because when you're buying the stock, you're almost buying into the cash that they have. Now, what has been going on with Sundial recently, there's actually been some, I would call it good news for them, is they have been making equity acquisitions, and this has actually been contributing to their overall business model in a fairly significant way. So basically what's been going on, at least what they most recently reported on, was their acquisition of a large stake in the Valens company. Now, this is a Canadian cannabis products and processing services company, and they revealed that they just had a 10% stake in it. Now, they didn't just buy that stake. They've been investing in this company for a while. However, they did recently buy 100,000 additional shares, raising their ownership to 10%. And this isn't the only company that they've been investing in. They've been investing across the cannabis industry in many different companies for the past while, and that's actually generated about 70%, 75% of their revenue, as 75% as much revenue as their primary business operations, which is producing cannabis. Now, these acquisitions that they have been getting them relatively cheap, right? They paid it about $2.08 per share, and now those shares of Valens Company are worth $2.49 per share. So they have been making good acquisitions, and this basically, in my opinion, this whole equities acquisitions strategy that they're going with is making them less of a risk as a company, right? Because any single company, something bad could happen to them, and it could drive down the price of a stock dramatically. However, now that Sundial is really diversifying and buying a bunch of different cannabis producers and just other businesses related to the cannabis market, I think that really broadens them out and reduces a lot of the risk that's associated with them, because now it's just not one company. They own stock in many different companies, and it would take basically a huge downturn in the cannabis market to really hurt them. Now, I don't expect that to happen. I actually think there will probably, over the next couple of years, be a large upturn in the cannabis market as we see legalization come across the United States. I do expect that will be the case over the next couple of years, hopefully sooner rather than later, right? I mean, obviously, the sooner this stock starts moving up, the better, in my opinion, and probably yours as well. If you're watching this video, you probably hold some Sundial shares or are looking to get in. Now, in my opinion, 70 cents is a great place to be getting in, and if I didn't already have such a large position in Sundial, I would be buying more shares, or at the very least, selling put options, I think, is a great way to be entering this stock, because this stock is very cheap. And, at 70 cents per share, you could sell a single put option, and that would cost you about $70. And that would, depending on what strike price you sold it for, maybe you sell it for a 50-cent strike price, you can either be collecting a decent premium on that if we don't end up hitting 50 cents, or you could be gathering shares for relatively cheap, right? If you're selling a 50-cent put and you'll get the premium on top of that, let's just take a look at the options and see what we could be getting. Like if you wanted to sell a January 22 put option, you could be getting about a 10% return on your money over the next couple of months if we don't move at all, right? If we don't end up going below 50 cents, you could be getting about a 10% return. And honestly, I do not think that we'll be going below 50 cents. I mean, that is a rather dramatic drop, I would think. Before we even had this massive spike up and increase in interest in Sundial, I don't think that we would be hitting 50 cents again, because now there are a lot more investors who are interested in this stock, and many more people who are holding shares just over the long term and expecting cannabis legalization. I think that that has only become a more and more of a possibility as time has gone on. And as we've had the administration that we currently have. So I think that there is good news probably on the horizon for Sundial. I can't tell if it's going to be later this year or sometime next year or even the year after that. But I do think that over the next couple of years, we are definitely going to be seeing some kind of legalization, or at least, at the very least, some kind of really good news for cannabis companies. Maybe it's a decrease in banking regulations. Overall, I think Sundial is probably going to benefit greatly from that, because they aren't just a cannabis producer, but they also hold stock in all of those other companies, as we talked about. So one other thing about Sundial that you can see, and a partial reason for why it's been decreasing in price, is there has been less and less interest in this stock, right? This stock, I will admit, definitely spiked prematurely and was not ready to be valued at this level fundamentally when it ended up spiking up to almost $4. Now, I will say, obviously that was because of a massive increase in interest as legalization was kind of spreading across the United States. During the election, the November election for president, there were also 9 states which had legalization on the ballot up for, the public option essentially, right? The public just gets to decide if they want to legalize or not, and I believe it was legalized in those 9 states. It may have been 6 or 9, one of the two. And, basically a lot of new states legalized cannabis. And that was great news for a lot of cannabis stocks that led to a huge increase in cannabis interest, especially Sundial interest, and was what led to this massive spike. Now we've kind of waned off of that, as, a lot of people probably thought that that would be leading to nationwide legalization, federal legalization, banks not regulating as much. That wasn't the case, at least yet. I do think that when that actually happens, then we will continue to spike up and probably make higher highs than this, because federal legalization would be much bigger news than a couple of states legalizing cannabis. Everyone would be looking to buy these cannabis stocks, and what company better than Sundial? I mean, there are a couple maybe that are more acclimated to the current environment, that are currently more profitable than Sundial, but Sundial is making acquisitions in other companies, and they're actually diversifying themselves fairly well, I feel. So I am somewhat confident in Sundial's ability to continue being profitable over the long term, or rather to become profitable, especially considering the fact that a lot of their revenue is now coming from their investments. And, in the past, a lot of people have complained about Sundial's management and that maybe they weren't the best or most effective management team. If that was a complaint that you had, well, now you have to admit that they are kind of diversifying their management by putting their money in other companies and letting those companies kind of take off for them. So in a way, Sundial is essentially becoming a cannabis ETF, and that's very interesting to me. Now, obviously, I'm a big fan of Sundial. I'm a Sundial holder. I'm not trying to convince anyone to buy Sundial if they don't want it. I'm not trying to sell you on it either way. I'm not trying to sell you to sell it or tell you to buy it. These are just my opinions. It's what I think on Sundial. As a long-term holder, I think it's a great play long term, especially considering the current environment that we're in. Now, other than that, guys, I will say, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel, and using the Webull referral link in the description to get some free stocks. You can do whatever you want with those free stocks, sell them, buy Sundial, buy whatever you want. That's what I've got for you guys. Other than that, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.